guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Today we are going to be talking to the ladies about online dating. Last week I was talking to the guys, and this video I feel a lot more comfortable with. I feel like I wanted to discuss like a couple things as far as online dating and things that I've kind of noticed just within myself, like a temptation, and I wanted to just share with you guys, and hopefully you can get some encouragement out of this video. If you end up getting encouragement out of it, if you could smash the like button and also subscribe, that helps me reach more Christian singles. So anyways, the first one, if you haven't seen the video to the guys, I lay out some good tips that I think are good just to watch and learn. And but just from the guys video, number one, as a female, if you're setting up an online dating profile, I think it is very important to clarify that you are a Christian. I think that people can label a Christian on an online dating app, but not really know what that means. So I think it's important to just, when you are talking to someone over the internet or app or whatever, like you need to make it clear like what your standards are, so they're not thinking that you are willing to like cross lines or anything like that. You want to make sure that you have solid boundaries in place before you even consider starting to online date. If you do not feel like you have strong boundaries or feel like you are in a place where you can say no to like sexual temptation, I would advise do not get on a dating app, because that is like a high level temptation in that area, because there's going to be so many guys that are going to try to push you in that. So to really know like where you stand and what your values are. So if you feel like you have your values are set strong and your boundaries are good, then go ahead, create that profile. So once you got that out of the way, number two is the guys will message you. And I think as women it can be hard because you have like these guys that are messaging you and you're wanting to try to start conversations with people, but if you're not interested, it can be like, okay, well, what do I say to this person? And I think it's just good to be honest. If you're not interested in someone, just to let them know like, hey, thanks for messaging me, but I'm not really interested, but really I hope that you find someone on here. Like, be kind, because I think sometimes we forget we're actually talking to a person. It can be easy to be rude to someone because you're not face to face with them. And so I would really encourage you, whatever you'd want someone to say face to face to you in a conversation, try to implement that on a dating app. I know it can be kind of hard because there's just that temptation to be rude, you know, like just blow them off, which goes into my other step is ghosting. Ghosting is the worst. Ghosting happens all the time on online dating. And I really think Christians need to just stop it. And as a Christian single on a dating app, you are responsible like how you treat other people. And say you're messaging someone and you message back and forth, and then you're just like, okay, I'm really not interested in this guy, and you just stop messaging him. Like, that's really rude. Like, just let them know like, hey, I appreciate your time, but I'm not really interested. And so that like gives them the clarity to move on. Because if you just ghost someone, you know, I think it can discourage them. They are trying to meet someone, if they are, and then they're left with a question like, why did that person stop talking to me? You know, so I think as the female, because the guys are supposed to pursue, so as the female, I think you need to honor that pursuit. You need to respect that and not just blow them off or ghost them. Like, you need to be accountable for your own actions. If the men are pursuing, we need to respect that pursuit and say, you know, I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to message me. I appreciate you sharing what you've shared, but I'm just not interested in moving forward. Something as simple as that, just so they know, and that will help them, because you're dealing with men's heart as well. As you want a guy to treat your heart with respect and kindness, like you are accountable to treat someone else with respect and kindness. And so I think as we are on these dating apps, we really need to consider, like, how can we honor this person? How can we show respect and love to our brother in Christ, even if it's not working out? And so my next step is, now that, you know, you are talking in the app and maybe you're like, okay, I kind of like this guy, I think it is very important, if you watch the tips for the guys, to start with just a cup of coffee with someone. I know he'll probably want to take you out to dinner, but I have been stuck in this situation where I was at a dinner and I was like done. I did not want to be there. And I was just like, I should have just went for coffee. So obviously you can determine for yourself, like, if you're really into someone, you can be like, okay, yeah, dinner sounds good. But I would highly recommend for your first date to just go to coffee. And one tip that I would really advise strongly for women is to let someone know who you trust where you are going. Let them know what time you're meeting someone, because online dating, you are still meeting a stranger. No matter how much you've communicated, even FaceTime with that person, you still need to be safe. And I think for women, we have to be extra safe because we are the weaker vessel. So I think it's just important to let people know where you're going, what time you're expected to be back as you're getting to know someone. So just be smart. Like, don't be naive. Your safety should always be first in meeting someone new. And you should definitely meet in a public area where there's people around, even going so far as where you park. Like, be mindful of where you park. If you're parking in a parking garage, like, watch your surroundings. Like, be aware of what's around you. I want women to be safe. So that is one thing that I really want you to be cautious of. I'd rather you be more cautious, better safe than sorry. So that's just like a little side rant there. So once you meet and you're on your little coffee date, for women, I think we kind of know what we want. We know what characteristics we want. We've prayed for our future husband. Not to say that guys don't know what they want, but I think women, like, we just have like an intuition almost instantly with someone. But with that intuition, sometimes guys can be nervous on the first date. Like, they will not be necessarily like themselves. So one thing that I heard, and I really try to implement this in my own life, is give someone at least 3 dates. I mean, as long as they haven't like completely annoyed you to death on the first date, like, give them a couple dates to like even out and not be so nervous. And you can kind of see, like, okay, what is this person really about? Like, what is their personality? What are the things they like to do? Do our conversations align well, or is it really hard to communicate with this person? I think just having those 3 dates and giving them the chance to show who they really are, because I've just kind of witnessed when you first meet someone, like, they're kind of putting like their best self forward, but they're also kind of almost hiding other parts of themselves. And they might actually be good parts about themselves. They're just like insecure about those parts. But as you get to be around them a little bit more, you can kind of see clearly a better picture of who they actually are. So that would be my recommendation. Like, as long as they're not incredibly hard to like be around, give them 2 more dates. So you've gone on 3 dates, Bella's here. So you've gone on 3 dates, it's all going good, and then, okay, so let me back that up. So you've gone on 3 dates, and you're like, okay, I'm really not interested in this guy. With that, you are responsible to clearly communicate to that person that you appreciate their time, you appreciate their pursuit, you respect their pursuit, but that you're just not interested, in that you wish them the best and that you'll be praying that they find someone. I think it is dangerous to leave like an open door, like, oh, well, I'm busy, or like blowing them off, because that's leading them on. Another thing that really irritates me is when women will continue to date someone, one, because they're scared of hurting their feelings, or they like the idea of having someone like on the line so they're not lonely. Like they can always go back to this person because they've kind of left them on the line. And both of those things are mean and not very considerate of the other person's feelings. And so I think we as women need to be better about that. We need to clearly define like what it is that we want, clearly tell someone if we're not interested, you need to not leave any room for, well, just open, like like no open doors. Say, you know, I'm not interested. That is a good indicator to a male that you do not want anything moving forward. Not blowing them off or saying I'm busy. I think as a female, if you're not good about that, you shouldn't be on a dating app and you shouldn't be dating someone. I'm just going to be very honest, because when you're in a relationship and a male is trying to pursue you, you as the female have to set certain boundaries to say, okay, this can continue, this cannot continue, and that is kind of your responsibility in a relationship. So I just want to really encourage you to pray about it. Ask God, if you're not strong enough in that area, ask him to strengthen you, and he will. And it's really a great way, once again, to honor your brother in Christ, to let him know that you respect his pursuit. Because once again, we want Christian men to pursue. Sorry about that, guys. If my camera is different, my cat knocked over my camera. She's bad. Anyway, so we want men to feel like they can pursue. We want men not to be crushed from past hurts of women just flaking out or ghosting or not being clear with how they feel. We have a responsibility as women to guard the hearts of the men, because they are going to be someone's future husband, and we want to set the next girl up for success, to have a relationship that she can walk into where the man is not full of bitterness from past women being like terrible, who isn't full of unforgiveness. You know, there's a lot of ways that we can help the next female. And don't you want that? Like, don't you want the next guy that you find to be like fully just ready to love you? And I think part of that is us being kind and considerate of their heart and of their feelings, and to really build them up in the pursuit of their next relationship. And I think as we really check our own hearts and how we're treating others, like we are walking circumspectly and wise before the Lord. And really, at the end of the day, that is who we're accountable to, how we treat our brothers in Christ. Like, we are accountable how we treat these men. So I just don't want you to get on a dating app for that attention. Like, that's not the right intent. And, you know, going out on dates because you haven't been on a date in a long time, like, that's not the right intent. That's actually using someone else. And we don't want to be that. We want to be guarding someone's heart. We want to be pushing them towards a growing relationship with the Lord. And I think as you pray and as you ask God, okay, like, how can I best honor this person? How can I best respect their heart and lead them, you know, closer to Christ, in the sense of just being honest about how we feel. And I think that can be hard, because we think telling someone like, oh, I'm not interested, is mean. But I think not clearly telling them that it's over is meaner. So just kind of know, like, it's okay to be honest with someone. It's not mean to be honest. I think somewhere along the line, like, we think it's mean to be honest, and it's not. It's kindness to be honest with someone. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted. Anyways, it's kind to be honest to someone. It's nice to let someone know how you feel. And my last tip is just really with online dating, not to grow discouraged in the fact that maybe you have to be direct with someone, or you're having to tell them maybe hard things. Always prayerfully consider when you're online dating. I think we can maybe get wrapped up in the fact that someone likes us, or wrapped up in the fact of that we're going out on dates. But we, at the end of the day, are looking for our future husband. We're looking for someone who we can respect and follow. And to really have that in the back of your mind, like, is this man someone who I can respect? Is this man someone who can lead me spiritually? Is this man someone who is fitting kind of the criteria of what I see as my future husband? And if that person isn't falling under those things, then it's really not wise to continue that conversation. So those are just a few tips, online dating tips for you. I hope that you are encouraged with that you can go forth and really pray in boldness that God will just lead you to your future husband, whether it's online or at the grocery store or wherever you are. To be encouraged and to know that I'm praying for you and that I'm happy that you're here. And thanks for watching. Bye.